Lifting up through the chest and dropping down through the tailbone. So we want to have this really long feeling in the spine. And some space up here in the belly, because when we're like this, there's a little less space to breathe. So lifting the chest, and then we're going to inhale to where the belly and the ribs meet. So inhale, filling this area. And exhale, draw the navel toward the spine. Inhale, filling up. Slowly exhale, push the air out. Again, inhale. And exhale slowly. Bring your hands to the bottom of your side ribs. As you inhale, fill the front and the sides. Again, inhale, filling up. Inhale, filling the front, then the sides. Exhale, slowly draw the navel toward the spine as you let the air out. Inhale again, filling the front and the sides, and release slowly. Move your hands to the back of your ribs, at the bottom of the back ribs. Maybe you can't put the palms there, but put the back of the hands, and if one shoulder is not working out for you, just do one hand. So inhale, filling up the front, filling up the sides, and filling up the back. And exhale slowly. This will take several tries before we really have movement there. Inhale, filling the front, filling the sides, and filling the back. Exhale, release. And again, inhale, filling the front, sides, and back. Exhale slowly, let the air out, and draw the navel toward the spine, pushing the last bits out. We'll do this just for a few more breaths. Inhale, fully filling the front, sides, and back. Release. And draw the navel toward the spine. Inhale again, front, sides, and back. Come back to your natural breath for a moment. Just notice how much more full it is when you take a regular breath. So we're going to do a little bit of breath work. We're going to do square breaths. So we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. So whenever you're ready, inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. A few more rounds. Inhale. And hold. Exhale. And hold. 2 more times. Inhale. And hold. Exhale. And hold. One more time. Inhale. And hold. Exhale. And hold. And come back to your natural breath. So from here, we're going to do a little work for the side body, but we're going to just warm up the upper body a teeny bit before we do that. So I've come off this. You don't have to, but for me, it just seems to make a little bit more sense. Let's bring the arms up over the head, interlace the fingers, reach up. And then we're going to just bend over to one side and use your arms to reach long. Breathe deeply into the extended side. And back to center. And reach up again and pull over to the other side. Bring one hand down and the other over the head, bending, just making as much of a C shape with the spine as you can. It's like sending the ribs out, and you might even rotate to look up. Keep that sit bone grounded, the same one as the arm is lifted. And release, switching sides, C shape with the spine. And then rotating the chest and head up. And coming up. From here, we're going to extend the left leg and bring the right leg in with the knee bent. It doesn't really matter if you're able to be in any of these positions. What matters is both sit bones stay down. If you find even that difficult, roll a blanket or fold a blanket and put it underneath your bottom so you're a little bit elevated. I actually like to have some cushioning under my sit bones, so I'm putting one there anyway. Okay, and you'll need something to lean on. Hopefully you have something like that resembles a block, like a thick book. Any object will do that's got a bit of solidness to it. Okay, so you're going to put it in front of your left knee. You can put it up high, you can put it medium, you can put it low. I'm going to start here. So let's bring the right hand to the right hip for a moment. And then turn to face your right knee. So you're twisting slightly. And then from here, we're going to bend toward the left leg. So we're keeping this rotation, but we're bending over to the left side. And at this point, I'm still pretty tight through here. So my hand is warming that area up, giving it a little bit of massage to encourage it to let go. Deep breaths into the side is going to be very helpful for you. Keeping that right sit bone grounded, you might feel like you can come in a little deeper. If so, keeping the chest rotated upward, you can come toward the left leg a little more. You might even be able to support your head with your hand by bending the left elbow. That right shoulder rotating back. Do your best to breathe as fully as you can into the bottom of the lungs. If you're ready to take this a little further, you have some options. You can turn this block down. You can reach that right arm way up over the head, but you're still rotating the chest and shoulder back and up, lifting. And maybe you can even bend that right arm to hug the head and use that leverage. So you're kind of pulling the head with the arm, looking up, pulling the elbow up and back. So we're really starting to feel things happen right in the front of the waistline rather than just the back or the side. So we're pulling into a different direction when we rotate up. Keep breathing. And maybe you're able to reach for the right foot with the right hand. You can hold on to the foot and pull just a little bit, but don't let that sit bone come off the ground. If it does, you're just going to have to press it back down and accept that you're not going in deeper right now. So there's limitations here. There's shoulder limitations, there's waistline and hip connection limitations with tightness in the connective tissue. There could even be limitations in how far open you can pull through the ribs, but breathe into all of it. And then we're going to rotate the chest down. Place both hands on the floor. Take your time. We'll pause here for a few breaths. And then swing to center. And then push yourself up. So we don't want to come out the way we went in. We want to not use the area that we just finished stretching. So that's why we did the rotation and we sweep across and we come up. That way this has a chance to land in its new arrangement without you contracting and making it work, which might put it back into its old holding pattern, or just cause inflammation because it's too much at once and too quickly. So we're going to switch sides. Okay, so we want something in front of the right knee this time. And we're taking deep breaths. And now we're going to rotate the chest to face the left knee. Breathe. When you're ready, you're going to allow the body to drop over to the right leg, keeping this rotation and chest lifted. You can bring your hand to your waistline, breathing deeply here. Okay, maybe, just maybe, you're able to lean in far enough that you can bend this right elbow and then support the head with the hand, keeping the chest rotated up and the left sit bone dropping down. Continue to breathe into the left side. Like you're trying to stretch yourself from the inside with the breath, the expansion of the lungs, the expansion of the body as the diaphragm pushes down and everything moves out of the way. So side bends are really good for a lot of the organs, specifically the kidneys, but also the stomach, the liver, the intestines. Maybe your body will let you in, maybe not. Just have a little experiment. If the body's ready to go in, you'll know it right away, and then you can let it. And then extend that left arm way up over the head. Keep the chest rotated up as much as possible. Continue dropping that left sit bone and breathe deeply into the left side. Maybe even wrap that hand around the head, using that weight of the head to pull you in just a little bit more, but keep that elbow rotating up. And then just a few more breaths. And then rotate the chest down. Take a few breaths. And then swing across to center. And then slowly roll up. And just stay seated upright with the legs crossed for a moment. I think a good place to go from here is a wide angle forward bend. So if you don't have something under your heels, get a blanket or something cushiony that you can put there, because there's a lot of pressure on the heel bones when we come into this posture. Some of you are going to be just pressing down into the hands and lifting the chest, and this will be enough. There'll be a lot of an opening going on for you here. But some of us may want to come in deeper. You may want something to lean on as well. So take your time. Now, what you don't want is the legs to be rotating in and things all bending up. So don't push it. You want to go easy. You want to go gradual. The thing about true change is it's never fast. It's always gradual. It always takes time. There's always adjustments to make with each step. And so when we're asking the body to put itself in a different arrangement, we need to give it time and not demand anything from it other than relaxing into the posture as much as possible, which is really a request rather than a demand. So we're just easing in. If the body says no more, then it's no more. You wait and breathe. This is the limit for today. But if it allows you in, then you let yourself come in without fear of what might happen, because nothing's going to happen as long as the body's ready. We're going to be here a little while, so make sure that you're able to soften into where you're at. If this is too difficult for you right now, today might be different, right, than yesterday. Come back up. Deep breaths. If you have a bolster, you can lean on the bolster. If you have even an ottoman nearby, you can lean on that. So that feeling that you have is one of many sensations you could be having in this opening. This is a very sensitive area. It's tied to a lot of emotional things or survival type things. This is very sensitive, especially, I would say, for everybody, because we don't spend much time in this position unless, we're dancers or gymnasts. So don't expect there to be huge amounts of change in just one pose. This is something you may need to do periodically to have things start to loosen up in the area. Most of you will be feeling it in the inner knee and, of course, at the attachment of the leg to the pelvis. We're not going to hold this much longer, so let's give it about 5 more deep breaths. One thing you should know about this pose is it affects the whole inner line of the leg. It goes right into the arch of the foot. So if you're having a foot issue, like maybe it's tight here, it could be because this whole line is pulling. So you're needing to examine things not just from where they hurt, but where they're attached to. From here, we're going to slowly push ourselves up. We're not going to move the legs yet. Don't even think about it. Just relax and breathe. Just notice how much easier it is for you to sit in this position now that you've already been in it for so long and bending forward. And to come out, we're going to lift one knee with the hand and pull the foot forward so the inner leg is not doing the work. And then the other leg. And then we'll pause here for a moment. Just take about 2 or 3 deep breaths. Okay, so we're going to come into another pose which can be challenging and sometimes frustrating because it's very difficult to make progress in, but it's very necessary. So I'll start with my left leg extended, and I'm going to put a little something under my hip because when I bend this leg like this, my hip is somewhat elevated, just a little bit. My pelvis is elevated. So I've got a little blanket that's sort of balancing things out. So for some of you, just sitting like this can be a challenge. So you might want to use your hands behind you like this. And this is where you're at. For some of you, you're able to come into this a little bit more already. So bring your hands in front of you. And we'll start here. And you'll feel this already in the left leg and into the lower back on the left side. Breathing deeply. Now this is where a strap might come handy for some of you. If you don't have a strap, use a towel, use a sweatshirt to just grab the arms, whatever it is you have nearby, a scarf. As your body lets you in, you're going to come forward and then you're going to start pushing this knee back. So at the beginning, we can just place the hand on the floor and let the upper arm press against the shin or the muscles beside the shin so it's not painful. And then continue dropping forward with the head. Deep breaths filling the back. Keep softening through the hips. And at some point, you might want to try reaching that right arm around and then maybe clasping with the left hand. Now, some of you will have space here, which is where you're going to grab onto a strap or whatever you have. So we're holding on here, and then we're just dropping the head forward and breathing deeply. We'll be here for a few minutes, so do your best to surrender and soften into the posture. If by chance this binding is hurting your shoulders, then go back to this position. Some of us have injuries that we really need to take care of. Okay, let's take 5 more deep breaths here. And then when you're done, release the hands and very slowly push yourself up. Just let that leg drop out to the side. Let's take a breath or two. And only when it feels like a good time for your body, you can extend that right leg. So with about 3 or 4 inches space between the foot and the thigh, lifting up the chest and then coming forward, letting that left arm come in front of the shin. So you're planting the hand and putting a little bit of pressure, nothing much, just a little bit to keep it in place. And then we're allowing ourselves to drop into the pose. Always breathing deeply. Keep relaxing through the hips, especially that left hip. That one's going to be holding tight. Try to convince it to let go. And once it starts to let go, it might be the right time to start to reach around. Now again, be mindful of shoulders. If your hands can clasp, great. If not, use a strap or whatever you have. And then let the head drop and breathe. Keep breathing into the back. Take 5 more deep breaths. And slowly release the hands, place the hands on the floor. Keep the back rounded as you take your time pushing yourself up. Just let that left leg drop out to the side. Might be a good time for Shavasana. So extend that left leg and then come down onto your back. And we're going to rest here for a few minutes. Arms out to the sides, palms up. Let that low back settle. If you're feeling like it's still too tight and it's not settling, bend your knees, widen the feet on the mat and drop the knees in into constructive rest. And we'll be here for a few minutes, breathing deeply. Let's take a few more deep breaths. And then we can bring the knees into the chest and give them a hug. And we can prepare our legs for a frog from here. So the full frog is a little bit more intense. Right now what we'll do is we'll bring our knees right up over our hips. And then we'll part the legs and we'll hold them with the hands. You might need to hold on the underside or the top, whatever works. We're just going to let the legs hang open like this for about a minute or so. And then we'll transition into actual frog pose. Keep letting the weight of the legs drop, releasing the inner leg. That's good. So put your feet on the floor, bring the knees back slowly, and then we're going to roll to the side and take our time pushing ourselves up. You're going to need a blanket for this because you need the cushioning under the knees. Even a double mat may not be enough. Maybe a carpet underneath, that might be enough cushion for you. So we're going to open the blanket about to this size. Some of you, if you have really long legs, you might need it to be longer than that, but it also depends on how deeply you come into the pose. I think I'm going to do this on a slight angle for you to get maybe a wider or just a better angle for you to see what's happening. So try to get all the wrinkles out so that when you come into this, you don't have anything pressing into your bones. So I'll show you the stages and the steps of this pose. Actually, I just have to get the bolster. If you have a bolster, that's going to be helpful for you right now. If not, use a couple of pillows. Okay, so the first stage of this is a very wide child's pose. So we're coming in, so basically, I'll show you sideways. When we're in a wide child's pose, the knees are in line with the ribs, the bottom ribs. Then we're going to move up so that our knees are in line with our hips. And then at some point, we're going to part the feet so that the feet are in line with the knees. Now that's the hardest part. So for now, we're coming back into a wide knee child's pose. And we're gonna lay down or hold ourselves or wherever you're at, okay? So you're just going to ease in. Don't worry about how far you're in. Just breathe there, wherever it is you are. Now, if you have some knee discomfort here, you can help yourself a little bit by either coming forward a little bit more so it's not so much pressure in the knees, or you can tuck something like a blanket or a towel between your knee and your calf, which can also help. Breathing deeply into the back of the lungs. So as you feel ready, you may not even want to transition from here, but if you're feeling like you want to and you're ready, you can slide your upper body forward a little bit more. Keep the toes pointing in toward each other for this phase. You want to make sure that you have cushioning under your knee, otherwise it's not going to be easy to be here. Keep releasing through the inner leg and the hip. And let gravity do its thing. And then if you're up for it, the final step is to just part the feet with your toes pointing out. And we'll try to be here for about 2 minutes. You can extend this longer if you want. Let's take another 5 deep breaths. And the way out is to bring the toes back towards each other and push yourself back into child's pose. And just don't do this quickly, okay? You're going to push yourself up, and little by little you're going to bring the knees in, just a little by little, very slowly. Now we could follow up with a hero, but we've done a lot for the legs already today. We're going to move toward the shoulders and the upper back. So the same blanket that you've been using, we'll continue using, but you might want to move it up a little bit higher. And I think the easiest way for me to demonstrate this is I'll just switch sides when it's time. We're going to come down onto our belly and extend the right arm. Spread the fingers, flatten the hand. Use your left arm in push-up position. And you're going to turn your head to the left and then push yourself onto the right side. Now, some of you may need a little something under the head, like a pillow. So from here, you might be able to bend the top knee and place the foot on the floor behind you. If this is really uncomfortable, you can lower the arm so that it's got a little different angle. And if you're ready to go deeper, you can bring that left arm up over the head and just let it drag back so that it's almost like you're trying to lay it on top of your other arm. And then at some point, you might even want to bend that left arm and bring the hand behind the back. Keep taking deep breaths. Keep breathing fully. Let's take 5 more deep breaths here. And then bring that left hand in front of you again. And do not move your right arm, just roll onto your belly. Pause here. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then maybe you're ready to bend that elbow. Bring the hand to the floor, like push-up position. And then extend the left arm out to the side and push yourself up onto the left side. So I'm going to switch positions in a minute so you can see how it looks on the other side. And then you might want to bend that top knee and place the foot on the floor. Now this knee kind of helps you come back into the pose. If you're finding this extremely uncomfortable, you don't have to do that. You can also lower this arm. And at some point, you may want to reach that right arm way up over and over to the other side. Deepen the breath. And then bring the right hand behind the back. Keep taking deep breaths. And when you're ready, you're going to bring that right arm forward onto the floor. Don't move your left arm at all, and just roll down onto your belly and pause here for several breaths. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring the hands up to the floor and then push yourself up. So for our final posture, we're going to come into a back bend. And not everyone's going to have two blocks. So we're going to do this one with a blanket. We're going to roll the blanket in a cylinder shape. And that's going to be the bolster that goes lengthwise on the mat. Your chest is going to open up around it. And so the shoulder blades will drop back, the shoulders will open up, and it's really a nice chest opener. You'll still need something under the head, so either a folded blanket or a block. And when you lie down, you're going to need this edge to come just to the bottom of the shoulder blades. So we want to have the back, low back free from all support and the upper back supported. So we're going to come down onto the roll, the head rests on the block or a blanket or whatever you have. And then we're going to let the chest open up vertically, shoulders dropping back, relax the jaw. Breathe deeply into the chest. And then we're going to bend the knees, place the feet on the floor, roll off to one side. Take a few breaths into the back. And then very slowly pressing into the arms and hands, push yourself up, rounding your back. Come into a comfortable seated position. Namaste.